and publicist, but we also know you have a lot of experience building community. Okay, in different ways, and I mean, I don't want to distract from what you do here, but let's just say you've been a very active community member for a lot of years.
Yeah, well,
And so-
I'm fourth generation Californian, and so my family grew up here in the Central Valley. My grandfather, my great grandfather were in the agricultural industry.
Huh.
And so it's been wonderful to raise my children here in this community. And I've just been part of social movements and organizing in California for my whole life, really, for 3 decades. So opening this cafe with Eric and being able to partner with him to uplift, his culture that is not always represented in our mainstream,
Mhm.
The Starbucks of the world,
Right.
kind of lifestyles. That it's really been a wonderful evolution of my community organizing, because everyone wants a fresh cup of coffee. Everyone wants and
Yeah.
needs a friendly face behind the counter. People come through the door here, and it's like being able to just open the doors and say, "Hey, we're here. We're here." To lend an ear, to feed you. I mean, it's an extension of my mother love, right? To be able to feed and nourish people, both with food and wine and drinks, but also spirit.
Yeah.
Spirituality nowadays can take different forms, and this is one of them. This is an expression, I think, very much of our spirit, and Eric's. The colors and everything, the vibrancy, you can't miss it. You really
Yeah.
can't miss it when you come in here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure. I want it. I'll take the camera for a spin again, because there are 2 other beautiful, rich colors on other walls.
Mhm.
So I know Eric just referred to you as his right hand person, and I'm just curious about how that evolved. Like he said, he started open this 2 months before the pandemic, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. You supported the business going, just like not shutting
Mhm.
down, or did you?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's really important to give voice to just how hard it is for small businesses, because the pandemic was one thing, but it's basically been perpetual challenges and crises. It's the inflation,
Mhm.
climate change, and extreme weather. It shuts us down all the time when it's too hot to open. So there's so many things affecting, our bottom line, our ability to stay profitable. So it's about that community building is what we're trying to hope that this may become more of a go-to destination within the community, so that we can keep the doors open, right? And opening 2 months before the pandemic meant that Eric didn't qualify for a lot of the Running Rivers didn't qualify for a lot of the relief funding that came during that time. So it's just been a real uphill battle. And I was really like, oh no, we cannot close this place. There is so much love put into this. It is such a unique place here in the community, and we've got to keep it open. So I was really glad to lend, my energy and just give Eric some extra support, because a lot of small businesses are still struggling.
Yeah,
really
for
struggling.
For sure.
And it's a loss of the diversity in our economy. And it's, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. So these are the people that employ people in the economy that are here in the community day in, day out. When someone needs a sponsorship for a little league team, or they need a place to host a paint and sip, or an event, or a birthday party, or a celebration, we're here, and we're here to make that extra special opportunity to connect.
And you've already hosted some events here, right? I think I came by when there was a birthday party happening, and then I missed the art event. Can you talk about I saw photographs, which maybe we can show. Rebel, can you go? Is it too much trouble to go back to the website and show the page with photographs? Because there's pictures of the event where they had. Was it all local artists, or? I don't know how the artist
Yeah,
became involved.
So Davis has this wonderful
What's the next? Maybe it's
the
under,
gallery. I think is there a gallery? There's our sangria.
I think maybe underneath it. Sorry, we're scrolling. We're looking for the photographs. Is it underneath
Yeah,
there?
there's a whole
No?
page of them. You'll find
There
them.
you
Oh, there
go.
we go. There's the gallery.
And there's a picture of Eric in the middle.
Yeah, well, Eric has had many lives. One of them was in the music industry, and so we are very much all about live music. And this being a place where people can play on the patio and test out their ability to perform in public, right? That, like, one of the stories that I love is, this is about like a place that kind of anchors people in the different life cycles and holds space for people in whatever stage of life they're in. So there was a gentleman here that was really insecure about playing in public, but loved to play guitar. And so Eric gave him a chance to perform, and now he's our regular every Saturday night.
So nice.
And his family comes and he puts his grandson on the mic sometimes. So it's just wonderful to bring an intergenerational community together. And we've been accompanying, people like that as they are developing, their persona, their gifts for the community. We get the chance to see them evolve and share in that. So we try to book music every week, every Saturday night, and we're gearing up for a big festival. And that's what I'm been most focused on lately. We wanted to honor the changing of the seasons now with just yesterday, I heard the Canadian geese honk as they came through the parking lot, above the parking lot. But this is a place where we can really reclaim our commons, our sense of commons, and pay attention to the changes of the seasons. And so on the autumn equinox on September 23rd, we're having a harvest festival.
Nice.
And Yolo County being a center for agriculture and also for thousands of years being stewarded by Native people to be this very rich biodiverse place that sustained an incredible complex web of life here for thousands of years, and the acorn and the oak being central to that food system, to Native food systems. We really want to honor the fall harvest season in the many forms that culture touches the land and then brings food to our table, and the many workers here in the plaza that are usually behind the scenes. We want to help them come and have a platform to honor them and to celebrate them on a Saturday with live music. And it just so happens we're getting really deep into roots music. So we've got Latinx root music, an all-women salsa band, Raices, a local band, and a reggae band, Roots Band Project. So we're really excited. We know that music unifies people, right? And it animates our soul.
Yes.
It brings people together from across all generations. So I think it's going to be really exciting to transform this parking lot out here to a whole festival celebration this September.
Wow, we have more time to talk about that, but I thought, for people who can see the video, let's type in the, can you say how people contact you? Is it info at?
Yes, our email is info@runningriverswine.com, and that's also our website, runningriverswine.com. So that's a good way to access us. We're also on Instagram at Running Rivers Wine once again. So those are probably the best ways to reach us. Yeah, and there's a video there that has a taste of some of the cultural events we've done.
Yeah. Do you want to run that? We still have a good 20 minutes. Why don't we run that? It's only a minute and a half.
Before the last thing we say at the end,
I
want to have a quick toast for all three of us, and we'll jump in a camera.
Yay!
We love the camping.
Keep playing.
Okay.
But at the end, we're all gonna have a little toast. And
all right.
Say salute to everybody. Say I thank you for that.
Anybody who heard that, you can go to your.
I'll make it a little low.
So, how about can you play that video clip now? It's just like a minute and 27 seconds.
That's it. Yeah, that's
gonna
roll, I think, from.
Should it be? You can.
There she goes.
You can mute. Can you mute us and play the music that's on the sound that's on the video clip?
Thanks for sharing that. That's a great glimpse of a little sneak preview of coming attractions here.
And nice variety of music that you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed on your events page, the calendar is open because inviting people to ask you to host things here. Like you said, if someone wants to have a party here or.
Yes, we'd be delighted to help spice up your events, your family events. One of the things we just started participating in is City of Davis has really been investing in arts and culture and rebuilding the arts and culture sector. And they sponsor an art about, they call it the Second Friday, different venues across town, mostly in downtown, but also here in West Davis. Now we were the first to open up our doors to showcase the art, not only on the walls, but Eric's father brought some of their collection, their personal collection of Native American artifacts and objects and items, cultural items that they've collected over the years. And so we had a beautiful display. It was like museum quality that people love to engage with, and in the setting just to ask lots of questions. And a little boy came up and was able to talk to Eric. And I think that people really appreciate having access to Native American community members. And this was a really nice way to do that, to celebrate the diversity of Native cultures, but also and as art, right? And I find that with the objects that we've been able to showcase here, that it transforms people's understanding of Native people, not just as someone in the past that have been impacted by genocide and are gone, but that there's a contemporary examples of Native culture are living and breathing in almost every community, and to center Native people that are here and are part of our community is just a real blessing after the history in this country, to actually have an opportunity to engage with Native people, ask questions, see how people live today in contemporary lives, just like anyone else, but with often some stories that may or may not be shared, but that there's the living testament to the resilience of Native people that are here, that are stewarding the lands, that are part of our community. Is something that I think all of us are, especially non-Native people, are seeking opportunities for that healing and transforming our own relationships, and looking for reparations. And that was an element of that in the evening. It's going to take, I think, takes time, and it's a sensitive topic because at the end of the day, there needs to be economic equity, to parity and equity, and that we're still a long way from that in our society. So this is one way that I think we're finding positive examples and positive stories to enter that process of healing in our community.
And the fact that was very generous of Eric's family and father to share with the public, and that and so important that it was his choice, their choice, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Just to state the obvious. So do you want to talk a little bit? I missed it. I haven't been here for the cafe part. What I don't know. Eric, are you still here? What was served for breakfast? what did you cook for your first cafe?
You have what 5 or 10 minutes left?
We got about 15.
Okay. Don't really shy.
Okay.
Okay, but come over here. Put your
Okay.
box
Let's
here.
see. Let's make
We're
sure.
gonna do the last 10 minutes. Of me saying hello.
here. This is so fun about a live show. We're moving around. You can also see some other walls and other art. And this is.
I mean, if you want to, you can kind of see that there. That's a really good shot right there.
Let's see. Do we have the shot? The camera's now on the counter.
Come on over here.
Well, okay, so we're gonna do a toast later in about
Okay.
5 minutes here.
Okay. But before the toast, do you want to talk about a little bit about what you made for the first?
Oh yeah,
cafe?
a little bit more the cafe thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is new. So a very traditional thing in the Northern California for Latin Americans or Mexicanos or Chicano. Chorizo is a wonderful dish, and you can do a lot with it, especially if you throw some eggs on there. But every chorizo is different. So I do make chorizo burritos and mimosas on Saturdays. Limited time only. So this is only going to go on for maybe a few more weeks.
Okay.
Juliet's trying to push it even further in, but we'll see. But yes, so chorizo burritos, mimosas, fresh salsa. Yeah, I think we're going to do okay. Barbecue is going to be later in the fall. I like doing really fall barbecues. So make sure you look at everything that's posted when we get a chance.
Okay.
Because it could be some ribs, it could be a tri-tip, it could be the fall brings when I make my own special tamales. And fresh beans and rice. So there is a good indication that there will be a tamale wine pairing. And it was my first event when I decided to tell the public that Running Rivers was coming to Davis. So I think we should do a reunion and do a tamale wine pairing. Stay posted. It will come. All right. So
You can move the camera around.
Well, I could say a little bit about
Yeah.
the coffee.
Yeah.
I would say that one of the things that distinguishes our business, and one of the things that Eric has brought to a lot of intentionality, is where we source our products from and where things come from. The main consideration isn't always just like the bottom line and how much profit can be made, but actually how does this product enhance our communities and the earth. So our coffee really embodies that ethic.
yeah.
Eric mentioned that this is Thanksgiving coffee that has been around for 50 years. So they've had deep relationships with farming communities where the coffee is sourced from all over the world, all regions of Central America, Africa, Ethiopia, and
there's
Vietnam.
nothing better than help a cause, right? So what we try to do is help everybody, but if we can give a few more to certain animals that might need some help. So I just like saying I have gorilla coffee. Oh yeah, I got gorilla coffee. So I'm very happy. So we have a lot of family grown coffees, and I love them. The family's beautiful. So
And the brand name is Thanksgiving.
yeah, well, yeah, and that's kind of its own thing. But you know what? I have to giggle about it. Doesn't matter how you look at it. It's how I look at it, right?
That's right.
So I love
Yes.
the company. I love what they stand for. They're trying to say something right, and it might come out a little crooked, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay because I love you.
Yeah. You're
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm here to support you. It's not your fault.
That's such a great point. That's
So,
that's such a great
So
point.
let's do a toast because I'm this is a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. Salute.
To your health. Nice.
Yeah, it's a little refreshing,
Yeah.
tart,
From New Zealand.
grassy notes, a little grapefruit. You're lucky I don't have a bowl of like fruit right now with some goat cheese on it. Oh,
And how did you find it?
well, unfortunately, wine specialists or sommeliers have to drink, um, you know, multiple vineyards from across the world. So I had to drink a few bottles to find this one particularly. But yes, it's a lot of fun.
Well, isn't it fun to taste the different places, like terroir of the wine?
Yeah. So, the beautiful thing about wine is that where it's grown really indicates the flavor. And I guess, any farmer would know this, but, if it's an old dirt compared to a new dirt, and the way I'm going to do the one-on-one and ABCs is that if that dirt's been there for 5,000 years and this dirt's been turned over for 150 years or 500 years, obviously the grape's going to be a different grape. It can be the same grape, it's going to taste different. And that's the beauty about grapes, because they're very finicky. And how it's grown, how much water, how much daylight, obviously it's all physics, right? So let's not get too deep now, because I can do some Einstein right now. But it is depending on where it's grown and what the weather pattern is. And 3, 5, 6 years later, if you're patient enough, you can have some beautiful grapes. Unfortunately, in today's society, we're drinking a little faster, so we don't have much patience of really appreciating wine. But that's okay. Wine is a beautiful grape, so you can do a lot.
Are there any particular, I'm not sure how much time we have left, we have a few minutes left, any particular pieces of art or
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think you can see the wood. So the wood is bird's eye maple wood. It's from the south. It was probably put in somewhere in the mid '60s. So we're looking at the wood being over 150 years old. If I'm looking at the process of where it came from and doing its thing. Yeah, it's beautiful wood. Has some nice cherry wood inlay. If you came to the shop, the colors match the floor. I have maple wood flooring with Brazilian cherry wood inlay. So we have some really nice art. I found an artist who's a floor guy, ironically, a cool hippie, Jim Felton. He will be famous someday. He did my floors. It's gorgeous. The countertop is all his wood from oak. So he did all this. The oak, all that is from his own tree that he sawed down, and you can see not this, but you will see underneath everything is notched to its own cut.
Wow.
So he cut everything to itself. So each of those pillars are two pieces. So again, we're trying to really fund local craftsmen, wood makers, cabinet makers, garden. My grandparents on both sides were farm workers in the Yolo County for 50 years plus. My grandmother worked at the cannery here in Davis for like 35 years throughout her career with 3 children she's raising. Immigrants, because that's what we're classified as. And my grandfathers on both sides, well, one side actually. My poor father went to Vietnam and got drafted. But my mom's side, he put 3 children into college, and they all have masters. One's a brainiac. He's solving time. And one became a teacher for life. And then my mother was an activist, and she worked in the federal government too, a little bit state. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work and love,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, coming home and putting your kids to bed and then trying to get them to school. And we're from this valley, right? So it's a lot of rich stories. Yeah. So, hey,
Beautiful.
the river is constant.
I love that. Constantly flowing.
Salute.
Salute. Salute to you, Rebel. And let me say thank you. I think we will close on this note, but let me first thank Eric Rios so much for bringing your wine and food out to the public here. So appreciate it. And the Juliet Beck, thank you for being a part, being his right-hand person and opening up this beautifully aesthetically pleasing location, spot, inside and outside, the music, the art, and bringing community together. And I want to also thank the listeners and the viewers, anyone who catches the video. You got some really nice things to look at here. And Rebel, thank you so much, our very, just very proactive sound engineer and my producer, Dean Piper. And I want to remind you all to tune in next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to It's Your Voice on W4CY and Talk 4 TV. And may we all have enriching conversations this week. Thank you for listening.
Inarticulate speech of the heart. Inarticulate speech in